Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And the market is heating up. There's a lot to go over, but first I want to say I hope everybody's having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. There has been a ton of movement over the last couple days in this market. A lot of rumors are now starting to hit the markets. We're going to talk about it. We're going to address it in the 24-hour span. A lot of altcoins are breaking out, and this is due to Ethereum actually pumping up almost 20% in the last 24-hour time frame. So again, there is a lot of gains across the board today. Even if we go to the top 24-hour gainers in the top 500, you can see it across the board. It is a very exciting time already in this market, and we're not even close to the finish line. Altcoins really aren't breaking out in a massive way just yet. This is the start, but I'm excited for much higher prices along the altcoin market. But are we out of the woods yet? We're going to be addressing that. But first, I want to let you guys know that the free Discord just got a massive upgrade. Guys, you need to be in this Discord if you want to get access to a ton of free insights, content, and discussions around crypto. You can join the free Discord by clicking the link down in the description below, as well as in the comments below, to get access today. But beyond that, let's go over here to this post by Good Morning Crypto. And we have crypto ETFs launching in the US. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse at Davos 2024, remember this is like right around January, discussing the inevitability of other crypto ETF products besides Bitcoin. How about an XRP ETF? There will be others in terms of ETFs for sure. Do you believe we see an Ethereum or XRP ETF in the USA during 2024? And check this out.
I think at some point, there will be a new chair of the SEC, and I think that'll be a good thing for the American people.
There were a couple of interesting things after that Bitcoin ETF was approved in that statement. One, and I paraphrase here, was effectively Gary Gensler saying, just because we allowed the Bitcoin ETF, don't think we're now going to allow a bunch of other crypto assets. The second interesting thing was the price of Ether skyrocketed immediately after on hopes that there could now next be an ETH ETF. What are the chances of that?
I think it's a certainty.
This year?
I'm not going to put a horizon on the time, but I think there will be other ETFs for sure.
An XRP one?
There will be other ETFs for sure.
but an XRP one?
I love this game we play. Look, I am very
That's the last time I lost.
That's fine. But look, the sad part of that reality is we have a Bitcoin ETF only because a U.S. court said to the SEC, you're being arbitrary and capricious in your application of the law. What would be sad is if every ETF had to go through that same journey and for Gary Gensler to get smacked down by the U.S. court system again. That might be.
So yeah, this was back in January, and remember, Ethereum started pumping off of that news that we could very well see an Ethereum ETF next. And guess what we just got today? Well, we have this SEC decision deadline this week on spot Ethereum ETFs. SEC must approve both the 19B 4S exchange rule changes and S1's registration statements for ETFs to launch. Technically possible for the SEC to approve 19B 4S and then slowly play the S1s, especially given reported lack of engagement here. Now, as we look at this, we have this as well. Now, this is from the senior ETF analyst for Bloomberg. Update, James and I are increasing our odds of a spot Ether ETF approval to 75%, up from 25% hearing chatter this afternoon that SEC could be doing a 180 on this increasingly political issue. So now everyone's scrambling like us, everyone else assumed they'd be denied. See Nate's tweet below for probably order of events. But again, we are capping at 75% until we see more, e.g. filing updates. And here we have the full update that I just read over here. Now, beyond this, we also got this. SEC asked exchanges to update 19B4 filings on an accelerated basis for spot Ether ETFs, and this is from CoinDesk. We can see here the SEC's Trading and Markets Division informed asset managers Monday morning to amend filings known as 19B4 filings and refile them with the amendments according to people familiar with the matter. Now, we already knew that this was going to be a thing, but why is this a big deal right now? Well, because as we really look at the space, we know that Bitcoin has been on a major move. We know Bitcoin dominance has been growing tremendously. And what have I always said when it comes to alt season? I've always said that Ethereum will always have this narrative around it saying, hey, it's about to flip Bitcoin. It's going to be the next one, right? We hear it every single alt season. Now, over here, I said an ETF approval for Ethereum is absolutely massive in a sense that it will ignite the flippening narrative again. And that's exactly what we are looking at. This will be the official catalyst to really kill all momentum on the Bitcoin dominance chart, as it would cause Ethereum dominance to surge. During that time, we focus heavily on squeezing profits from this market as altcoins begin to have much larger breakouts. Remember, this Ethereum ETF stuff is just rumors until it happens, but rumors are also very good for starting the shift. Be vigilant out there and remain patient. Our time to harvest profits is coming. Now, yes, I do believe that it is. And even as we do look at the space right now, like as we look at Bitcoin, it broke to like $72,000 or something like that, or almost. It was just shy of 72K on this chart. We can't get too ahead of ourselves. Like overall trading volume of Bitcoin is up 137%. It's almost at $54 billion, which is crazy to even think about. Ethereum, $40 billion in terms of 24-hour trading volume. Some nice volume across the board, nothing too crazy when it comes to XRP, but those two are absolutely killing it. But as we look at Bitcoin, this is what I said on the 12th of this month, and I said no significant Bitcoin change in 60 plus days while chopping. This week, we get a bunch of financial updates specifically around the CPI data, which is manipulated anyways, that will impact the market. Let's see what happens, but the key thing to watch for is a loss of that lower trend line. Now, we ended up breaking over the trend line. This is what the chart looks like now. Our initial breakout happened on the week of May 13th, which was the time where I posted this. And guess what? We broke through the first major target, which was around like 64K. I know on this chart, I was looking at the 65.5K level. That's mainly ultimately just flipping the first level of major resistance. But this was flipping a major resistance zone into support. But then the next weekly candle, first off, we closed above the $65,000 level, which was a big one. And then the next weekly candle, which is this one, took us into this major caution area. This is where we need to be cautious around Bitcoin because this is where a rejection would happen. Remember, we need to get a weekly candle close over 74K. That's the big deal. Obviously, yes, this candle close here above like 71.5K. It's a big one on the weekly, but we are actually looking for much higher. We want to break the entire level here that we wicked to back in the middle of March, aka that roughly almost 74K level. That's what we're watching for. But Bitcoin looks very good here. I wouldn't mind seeing a retest of the trend line, aka somewhere around here at about roughly like $62,000, 63K before we finally get that big break. That would be bullish for me because again, it allows us to accumulate even more before that last major wave up, which will take us to the top for Bitcoin. This next major move to the upside will be the top for Bitcoin, but we might have a little bit more chop left in the market. We might have one last pullback left in the market before we do so. But the big thing to focus on is Bitcoin dominance. On May 11th, I said we are closer than you think to making a ton of money. The only goal you should have is actually realizing the profits. And I cannot stress that enough to all of you. You need to be taking profits. But this is the dominance chart right now. It's squeezing in this uptrend, waiting for a reaction on this chart. That's all we're waiting for. Now, I have this drawing here that I'm expecting Bitcoin dominance to do, which is, just kind of squeeze between these trend lines, waiting and constricting right before that big break to the bottom. Now, could we also break out to the upside? 100%. That's a possibility. It could happen. But anywhere within the circle up here is what I'm really kind of looking at. If we do squeeze to the upside, 58% is my main target on this chart, but I'm still expecting a major sell-off. Momentum on the weekly has been cooling on the MACD, and even if we look at the monthly on this thing, guys, this is what the monthly chart looks like. Overall, momentum on the MACD looks very similar to 2020. We're just cooling completely off, and we're waiting for the big move to the downside. And you can see right here why 58.23% is my main target. Like, I don't expect us to break over this. In fact, I believe that we are going to create a lower high, very similar to 2020 into 2021, and even going back to 2017, 2018. Again, the overall structure of this chart has been macro-wise creating lower highs, and we have been holding a higher low since going all the way back to 2017, 2018. And the big question is, do we actually break that and create a lower low, which would be actually, like, that would be extremely bullish for altcoins. But we're still watching this closely leading into next week as well. I think that the next weekly candle on this will definitely be a big one. Towards the end of this month, we will have a little bit more price data to go off of, but this is squeezing, and I am expecting a sell-off regardless of where this goes next, because this is ready to have that massive sell-off to the bottom. The ETF idea around Ethereum is only hinting at a much larger move to the downside on this chart as well, as we do start to see Ethereum breaking out against Bitcoin and even outperforming it. Even right now, you can see Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin in a very large way, and I'm sure that there's already discussions around how Ethereum is about to outperform Bitcoin and flip it and do crazy moves, because that's how it happens every single alt season. But beyond that, I also want to go back to this video back in April where we had Brad Garlinghouse again talking about his prediction for the crypto market cap this cycle, $5 trillion possibly this year, which I don't know if we're going to hit $5 trillion this year. It's definitely a possibility. We're almost at $3 trillion right now. Brad Garlinghouse elaborates on Ripple's positive outlook and positioning regarding U.S. stablecoin regulation, projecting a surge from 150 billion today to an eye-popping 2.8 trillion by 2028. Ripple and the XRP ledger are ready to capture a huge portion of this market. Do you believe crypto will reach $5 trillion in market cap this year? And check this out.
You recently predicted that the crypto market will double in size to $5 trillion by the end of 2024. That is a big prediction just by the end of this year.
Yeah, I don't even feel like it's that big a prediction when you step back. And, you know, like any market, this is driven by supply and demand. You have decreasing supply for a whole bunch of reasons, the halving of Bitcoin being an important one. You have an increasing demand, the ETF being a key part of that. And I think it's also people realizing that crypto plays a role as an asset. It's a $2.5 trillion market. Maybe it's a little less than that now. But so it's basically just predicting it's going to double by the end of the year. And if anything, I think I probably underpredicted that.
I feel like, and the stable coin?
Oh, the stable coin. So like Ripple has always been about how do we bridge this new world with a traditional kind of, people call it TradFi, traditional finance. And Ripple has always been that bridge. We started around payments and we sell into banks. A stable coin, the demand for stable coins has exceeded, I think, what people thought. It's a $150 billion asset class right now. Some forecast it to be over 2-3 trillion in a few years. The players in that space, particularly one called Tether, is a non-US based entity. And the US, frankly, is kind of going after that because they want this to be regulated. Just yesterday, there's a new bill introduced in the Senate to create some stablecoin legislation, which I think is a positive step of like, hey, finally, we might get some forward momentum there. But I think that market's going to grow a lot. I think a US-based player who is compliance first has a great role to play.
It's a great story to tell. Brad, thank you so much.
Now, again, regardless of what your prediction is, I do believe that this market is about to erupt in a very large way for altcoins, and I do think that this market is going to surge in overall market cap. My original prediction around this market is 5 to 7 trillion. That's our topping point, in my opinion. Now, I know that everyone's going to say there's no way. You know, institutions are lined up, they're adopting it, they're tapping in, ETFs are about to launch around Ethereum, this, that, whatever. Guys, every single cycle, we are sold a dream, and that dream never comes true. So everyone can say 10 trillion, 20 trillion, 30 trillion. It does not matter to me. I have a plan in place. Regardless of targets, I am taking profits along the way to the top. I don't really care about specific targets. I care about making sure that I get paid for my time in this space. So if you're not taking profits, you are going to be left bag holding for the inevitable future. So the number one thing to do this cycle is just take profits when we have those massive run-ups to the upside. You have to be taking profits along the way. I'm telling you guys, it is so crucial. But with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys did, definitely like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and also join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.